Under the bright lights and thunderous roar of the crowd on March 1st, 2025, Gervonta "Tank" Davis stepped into the ring once again, this time facing Lamont the Reaper Roach Jr., a man known for his slick counterpunching, solid fundamentals, and iron will. From the opening bell, the energy in the arena was electric, with fans eager to see if Roach could pull off the upset, or if Davis would once again showcase the explosive power that's made him one of the sport's most feared finishers. Both fighters approached the first round with calculated caution. Roach, staying light on his feet, used a stiff jab to try and establish distance. Davis, as always, started slow, taking time to gauge his opponent's timing, watching closely for patterns and weaknesses. Roach circled, occasionally flicking out combinations, but Tank was patient, slipping shots with minimal movement and cutting off the ring in subtle steps. The opening round was a chess match, neither fighter giving much away, but Davis's body language suggested he was already downloading data for later. In the second round, Roach got a little bolder, snapping Davis's head back with a quick right hand that drew some cheers. It was a clean shot, well-timed, but Davis didn't flinch. Instead, he smirked, acknowledging the shot with a nod, almost inviting Roach to try it again. Tank responded with a quick flurry to the body, closing the distance and reminding Roach that any mistake would come at a price. The exchanges were still relatively light, but the tension in the ring was palpable, like two predators circling, waiting for the perfect moment to pounce. By round 3, Davis began tightening the screws. His footwork became more aggressive, cutting off Roach's lateral movement and forcing him into uncomfortable positions near the ropes. Davis started mixing in sharp left hands to the body, clearly trying to sap Roach's movement and slow him down for the later rounds. Roach, to his credit, remained composed, continuing to fire off counters when the openings came, but the power disparity between the two was already evident. Tank's punches had weight, thudding shots that echoed through the arena, while Roach's replies, though accurate, didn't seem to faze the Baltimore native. In round 4, Davis started showing more of his signature explosiveness. A crisp uppercut on the inside caught Roach clean and forced him to clinch. Davis used the opportunity to dig more to the body, hammering home 2 short hooks as the ref stepped in to break them apart. Roach was still in the fight, still sharp, but now he was being forced to fight at a pace he didn't control. The pressure was mounting, and Davis was beginning to take over the rhythm of the bout. By the 5th round, Davis's confidence was swelling. He began taunting Roach with subtle head movement, slipping jabs and walking forward with his hands low. Roach tried to time him with a counter right, but Davis rolled under it and came back with a brutal left hand that snapped Roach's head back. It was the kind of shot that makes a crowd gasp. Roach stumbled slightly, then covered up, as Davis poured on a quick 3-punch combination. Roach survived the flurry, but now the tide had clearly turned. The control, the timing, the intimidation all belonged to Tank. Round 6 saw Davis continue his assault, but now with more calculated pressure. He wasn't just throwing to throw, he was dissecting Roach's guard with precision. A looping right hook to the temple staggered Roach, and Davis immediately followed with a vicious left uppercut that landed flush. Roach fell back into the ropes but didn't go down. He held on, tried to fire back, but the power was wearing on him. His punches had less snap, and his footwork was beginning to slow. Davis smelled blood, and the predator in him began to emerge. Roach, however, showed his warrior's heart in the 7th. Despite the punishment, he dug deep and came out swinging. He landed a couple of clean rights early in the round that momentarily backed Davis off. The crowd roared, sensing a shift, but Davis quickly reclaimed control with a thudding left to the ribs that visibly hurt Roach. Tank pressed the advantage, walking Roach down and landing at will. By the end of the round, Roach was clearly fading. He hadn't quit, he never would, but his body was betraying him. The accumulation of Davis's power shots was beginning to take a visible toll. In the 8th, Davis slowed the pace slightly, almost as if to give Roach a chance to breathe, or perhaps lure him into another trap. Roach tried to re-establish his jab, but Davis's head movement made him an elusive target. A clean counter left landed midway through the round, wobbling Roach once again, and Davis pounced. He unleashed a savage barrage. Left hook to the liver, right uppercut, another left upstairs. Roach covered up and backed to the ropes, absorbing punishment but refusing to go down. The referee hovered close but let the fight continue as Roach threw just enough back to stay in it. The 9th round was pure Tank. He was in full control now, gliding across the canvas, throwing with bad intentions, and picking his shots like a sniper. Roach, visibly exhausted, was trying to survive. His corner was urging him to dig deep, to move, to keep his hands up, but Davis was hunting with precision. A right hook left uppercut combo sent Roach reeling again, and Davis pressed him into the corner. Roach tried to clinch, but Davis shoved him off and launched a looping overhand left that cracked against Roach's jaw, drawing a massive reaction from the crowd. Roach staggered, legs buckling, but still wouldn't go down. The heart he showed was incredible. As the 10th round began, Roach's corner debated stopping it, but Roach insisted on continuing, waving them off with steely determination. He came out trying to jab, but Davis was locked in. He cut off the ring instantly and backed Roach into the ropes with a series of body shots that echoed through the arena. Then, with surgical precision, Davis uncorked a counter left that landed, flush on Roach's chin. Roach collapsed to the canvas, arms splayed, dazed. The referee began the count, but it was clear. It was over. Roach wasn't getting up in time. The referee waved it off. The crowd erupted. Gervonta Davis had done it again. Another knockout. Added to his resume, another opponent laid out in dramatic fashion. Roach, brave and resilient, gave a tremendous account of himself, but Davis's power, ring IQ, and relentless pressure were too much. It wasn't just the knockout, it was how Davis broke Roach down, piece by piece, over 10 clinical rounds. After the fight, Davis paid his respects to Roach, raising his hand and acknowledging the grit it took to survive that long under that kind of punishment. Roach, though disappointed, accepted the result with dignity, nodding to the crowd and congratulating Tank on a well-earned victory. It was a war, and both men had left their mark in the ring. For Davis, this win solidified his claim as one of the most dangerous forces in boxing today. His mix of speed, power, timing, and composure continues to evolve, and with every fight, he seems more unstoppable. The talk now shifts to what's next. Another title defense, a mega fight, or maybe a jump in weight class. Whatever comes, one thing is certain. If you step into the ring with Gervonta Davis, you better be ready for war. Roach, meanwhile, walks away with his stock raised. He went deep into the fight with one of the sport's elite, showing heart, toughness, and grit that few could match. He may have lost, but his performance proved he belongs on the big stage. For both fighters, March 1st, 2025 will be remembered. A night of grit, skill, and the kind of drama only boxing can deliver.